Today we're going to be diving into Doom: The Dark Ages, and we're not going to be cranking the settings up to ultra, but we're going to be trying to run this in what I'd call a close to minimum spec computer, for all the budget gamers out there. Now let's talk about the rig for my experiment today. It's going to be a Ryzen 5 7600X, a NVIDIA 2080 Super with 8 gigs of VRAM, and the system is only going to have 16 gigs of RAM. When you're looking at the official minimum and recommended specs, you'll see that they reference the core counts and also some older generation CPUs. My Ryzen 5 7600X has less cores than most of those older CPUs. However, I think the raw performance of each of the cores should make up for that difference. So the big question is, will my 7600X and now 4th generation old GPU with only 8 gigs of video memory, will it run the game well and try to hit our usual around here of 60 FPS? Let's get into the game now. I'll show you the settings that I'm using, and we'll see what frame rates we can get on this computer. I'm definitely expecting this computer to run just fine since we're shooting for 1080p and 60 FPS. Really doing the testing of this. For some reason, the resolution, refresh rate, and vertical sync were not accessible here, and as well as the resolution scale and all of these settings I wasn't able to change. So the fix for that was to just hit reset to default, and then all of these showed up again. But I'm going to do 1080p at 100% resolution, DLSS quality, and we're just doing high settings. So this, or you reset those settings, it was, they're down around like 55 FPS or so, and the low got pretty low, like 10 FPS or something. So it definitely was very chunky until that we reset the settings. So you were getting nice 65 FPS. Definitely doing better than what the minimum specs had recommended. That I was trying for 60 FPS and only low settings. So the fact that we're doing this on high settings means CPU is definitely, the speed is definitely helping us out here, as the GPU is maxed and the CPU is like only at like 50% or so, so that means it's don't necessarily need the 8 core 16 thread CPUs, which is pretty nice for those of us who have aging computers. I do not know if there'll be scenes later in the game that won't perform well, but just in this opening area, it seems like you're going to get a pretty nice experience.